everyone, it's Fran from Village Dry Goods back again. Can you believe it? We are in the double digits now. We're going to be working on block 10 this week, so come on back and let's get started sewing. All right, I hope you're ready to sew. This is one of my very favorite things. I've about decided that one of these minutes I'm going to make a whole quilt using nothing but half square triangles and putting them into different positions to make different blocks. So this week is a bit of a repeat from last week in that we are again making half square triangles. A little bit different this time, but we are using a lot of half square triangles. So this is what your kit looks like for this week. You will be cutting 4 4-inch cream squares, 3 4-inch black squares, and 3 4-inch red squares. Pretty simple, right? The other 2 pieces, of course, are for your flying geese units that go on the outside. So let's get started on this. We have cut all of those squares. So now we're going to start sewing them together. Remember last week how we learned my new fabulous way of making all of these half square units out of a larger square. So you will be making 2 black and cream squares, 2 red and cream squares, and 1 red and black square. So you'll pair those up, stitch those on all 4 of your lines, and again, when we're going to cut this, remember we are not going to move our blocks. We're going to put our ruler with the 2-inch line here, squaring up on the top and the bottom. We're going to cut it vertically, not move it. Come and do the same thing horizontally, still not move it. Then we're going to come and we are going to cut in between each one of those sewn lines. When we do that, we end up with 8 half square triangles from each one of our pieces. Now, remember I showed you how to use my very favorite new ruler last week. It is the Creative Grids half square 4-in-1 triangle ruler. They do give you the sizes on here to make half squares from 1 inch all the way up to 6 inches. So it's really a fun ruler to use. So remember, we're just going to take that, we're going to lay that sewn line right here on our 1-inch line. I'm going to trim the 2 sides, and then I'm going to use the bottom of the ruler to trim off the dog ears. Again, for this block, I would like you to press all of your seams open. Every single one of them. Please press them open. Now, when you have your half square triangles trimmed, you will trim those to 1.5 inches, so they will finish at 1 inch, but trim all of these little guys down to 1.5 inches. Now, once we have all of our half square units made, we're going to put this together into 4 little blocks. It will be much easier for you if you're doing it that way rather than trying to sew it into rows and put it together. So, on your pattern, you have a diagram of what colors are where. We will have this posted so you've got the colored picture here to look at as well because our patterns are black and white. So here's how you're going to set them together. Now the really cool part about this is you will make all 4 of your blocks sewn together the same way. You're going to rotate them a little bit differently to have it come together as your block. So this is how your rows look for each one of your 4 sections. So just sew all of those pieces together. When you're finished with that, that's what your little unit is going to look like, right like this. Then look at your pattern, but this is how you're going to put them together. And I will tell you a fun little trick. This one is not done that way, but when you have all of your black pieces put together, if you play around with them by using this method, you can make all of your design go the same direction. You all know I'm a little bit funky about that and like to have my things all going in the same direction. So it can happen. You can make it work. Anyway, you will make 4 of these little sections. Now when you trim these little guys up, they are going to be trimmed to 3.5 inches because this unit needs to finish at a 3-inch unit. So we're going to make those 4. We're going to sew those 4 little guys together. We're going to make our flying geese units out of our pieces that were here. We have a 7.5 inch piece of cream, a 9 inch piece of our gold, 4 3.5-inch squares for our corners. Sew those together the same way we've sewn all of our blocks so far. So we've got those 4 flying geese ready for us to put on our outside edges. And when we put together our block, ta-ta-da-da, there's what we have. So if you look on all of my little black pieces here, my little flowers are all going up or going sideways, whichever way you're looking at it. But they can all go the same direction if you need them to. So I hope you enjoy making block 10. This is one of my very favorite centers, so I hope you have fun with it as well. Thanks for joining us.